Good morning, guys. Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm here in beautiful San Diego, as you can probably see behind me. And I'm here making these videos because I absolutely love horse racing. Horse racing is one of my biggest passions. And as you probably know, especially if you're here in San Diego, the 2018 summer meet just started at Del Mar. And I grew up going over there since I moved here when I was 6, but before that, when I lived in LA, I grew up going over to Santa Anita. And so having all that experience and knowledge, I found my friends and family always coming to me, especially around this time of year, for tips, but also just like, how do you make best use of your money over there? What bets are worth your while? Stuff like that. And so about a year or two ago got me thinking about making these videos. And so here I am. I'm going to start right now. So I have decided to do one day a week. So my one day is going to be Sundays. The races start at 2 p.m. on Sundays, except for Pacific Classic Sunday would be different, but I'll let you know about that. It's 2 o'clock. And so with that, I'm going to have my video analysis and picks up at 7 a.m. Sunday mornings, that Sunday morning for those races that day. Also, since I will be giving picks, my own picks, I want to have a results show. And so with that, I'll do a little analysis of what I thought happened in the race, remind you of the picks that I made, and then from there, if I won, go over the prices, go over just ways that we could do better if we lost. So with all of that, I also want to tailor this to not just someone who knows all the lingo of horse racing and has gone a bunch. I want to help someone start from the ground up if they want to get started, or if they went one time and they loved it but they still don't really know what's going on. So with that, if you are experienced in the horse racing industry, especially gambling on them, the rest of this show is probably not going to be too much help to you, because I'm going to start with, especially in the beginning, start with some pretty basic things, but definitely tune in tomorrow. 7 a.m. It'll be bright and early, be up for you, and I will be picking the horses just like if I spent the whole day there, from race 1 to, they usually have 9 races on Sundays, race 1 to race 9, as if I was there all day, how I would bet it. So yeah, we'll see you at 7 a.m. If that pertains to you. Otherwise, if you're new or you want to start or anything along those lines, or you just want to brush up, I want to go over the different bets that you can make, and also go over the money amounts that go with the bets, because different bets have different minimum money amounts and different amounts that you pay for them. So with that being said, let's start with the different bets. So the different bets, start with the easiest one. Everybody probably knows it. It pertains to more than just horse racing, the win bet. So yeah, it's exactly what you think. You have to pick the horse that wins, comes first in the race, beats all the other horses. It's more of a gamble than the next 2 bets I'm going to talk about, but you definitely have the potential to win more money than any bets you make with those. Sorry about that. So with that, next is the place bet. So the place bet is your horse to come in first or second, and if you bet him to place or her, you win. So also with that being said, if you bet your horse to place and he wins, you're going to see 2 money amounts on the board, and those money amounts, the first one's always going to be the win, the second one will be the place. If you bet it just to place, you're going to see the 2 money amounts. You don't get the first one. The first one's the win. The second one you do get, that's yours. That's the place. The next bet would be the show, and the show is the same type of thing, except you get first, second, and third. So if you bet if you bet show, you're going to get 3 chances essentially. Except same thing applies to that as does to place. If you bet just to show, your horse wins or comes in second. If he wins, you're going to see 2 amounts ahead of your show amount. If he comes in second, you're going to see 1. You don't get those. Those are for you. You get just the show pay, which you're still going to win. It's going to be the smallest amount, but you have the best chance to win. So it makes sense. And yeah, so those are the 3 easiest, most common bets, especially with people that are newer to horse racing. So from there, let's go to the exacta. So the exacta is a $1 bet. The win, place, and shows are all $2 bets. That's the minimum amount. You can obviously bet any amount above that. Doesn't have to be an even number, none of that. $2 minimum, so you can bet 3, 4, 5, etc., all the way up to however much money you have. The exacta is a $1 minimum bet, which is, so you're going to pick 2 horses minimum with an exacta. You can pick any amount above 2, but you're going to pick 2 horses. And as you watch the race unfold, your 2 horses or more, 2 out of those however many horses you pick, have to come in first and second. So if you pick 4 horses, only 2 of them have to come in, but 2 of them have to come in first and second. If you want to give yourself a little better odds, but you like the exacta bet, which, by the way, I love the exacta bet, it's one of my favorites, you can box it. The box makes it so however many horses you chose, which once again is the minimum is 2 for an exacta, however many horses you chose, if you decide to box it, those horses that come in first and second can come in any order. Just an exacta, you do have to pick the order, what number first, what number comes second. The box gives you a little more opportunity. The box makes that worth it to me, very worth it. So just a step above that, or just more horses, and obviously with that comes a little bit more money. You have the $1 minimum trifecta, which is the first 3, first, second, and third you have to pick, and the box applies to that also. So with the box with an exacta, $1 minimum on an exacta, you decide to box 2 horses, $2. Now, you decide to box more than that, your price of your ticket is going to go up, but yes, you are giving yourself more odds to win by adding horses. So weigh your options. Sometimes it is worth it, sometimes it isn't, depending on how many horses in a race, all that stuff, and I'll get into that through the different periods, the different race days that we go through. So the trifecta, first 3 place finishers, $1, but with that, if you box those 3 horses, 3 is obviously more than 2, you're going to be paying $6. $6 is going to be your minimum for a box on a trifecta. And obviously it goes up as you add horses, so does your odds of winning. So with that, we'll move to the superfecta. The superfecta is it's for 4 horses, so 4-horse minimum bet that you have to pick, and the superfecta is a little different than the trifecta, and I'm actually going to backtrack right now because I just remembered all the tracks do it differently, honestly, but I just remembered the trifecta, I believe Del Mar offers a 50-cent minimum trifecta, which is even better, but just for the trifecta on that one, not the exacta. The superfecta, like I was saying, is offered at a 10-cent minimum, which, if you're doing a 10-cent superfecta, you're picking 1 horse to come first, 1 horse to come second, 1 horse to come third, 1 horse to come fourth, and they have to come to those places, those horses, you're flirting with pretty impossible. But it is only 10 cents, so it can work. I've done it before. And so with that, when you talk about that box also applies to the superfecta. When you box that, say you box a 10-cent minimum superfecta, you're going to be spending $2.40 on a box of 4 horses, which all 4 of those have to come in first, second, third, and fourth, but in no particular order. Better odds, still very hard to do. It seems a little easier, but it's definitely still very hard. So with that, I would say I do love that bet, but you got to give yourself an opportunity to win money. So, you want a good amount of horses in the race in order to produce more money. But we'll get into that later. So those are the 4 bets after those 3 basic ones. Those are the 4 essentially most common bets after those. Now I kind of want to get into the bets that are the race that you're looking at, the horses that you're watching walk around the ring, that one, but also includes races after that, which gets harder because especially if you like to go by looks of a horse, you don't get to do that for anything but that first race. Or if you just like to wait and see how the odds shift, you don't get that either. You got to go by morning line or the little shift that it takes before that 30 minutes before the race. So it does get a little harder, but you do have a chance to win a good amount of money. So let's start with the daily double. So it's a $2 minimum bet, and you have to pick one horse in the race that you're starting in, which you can the daily double rolls. So you can start a daily double on the first race, so you do first and second race, second and third, fourth race, and so on all the way throughout the day. So you can start in any race. It's 2 races consecutively that you pick the winner in. Has to win, and you can pick as many horses in each race as you want / can afford, because the price of the ticket goes up as you add horses, as with any bet goes. So with the double, you can kind of calculate it with, if you do 1 horse in each race, it's a $2 double. It's $2. You're doing exactly what the minimum bet is. As you add horses, you have to times by 2 because it is a $2 bet. So every time you add a horse, you're going to times by 2. So if I'm doing 2 horses in the race I'm starting in, and then 1 horse in the next race, it's going to be $4. So you just times by 2, and that's how much you can figure out your ticket will be, how much you think you can afford, or whatever. So that's the double. And then you have the pick 3 or the triple. I believe at Del Mar they also do that rolling. So you can do first, second, third, fourth, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. And so with the triple, it's sort of the same, except it's a $1 bet. So that's why I do like the pick 3 a little bit more than I like the double personally, because I do like the $1 bets. It does end up saving you money if you want to try to make a bigger ticket, give yourself a bit better chance. So the pick 3, you pick the winner of 3 straight races. Pretty straightforward. You can put as many horses in as you want in any race. You can put there's the all button, which obviously includes all the horses that participate in that race. That's a $1 bet, like I said. So if you do 1 horse in all 3 races, it's $1. And then at that point, you're going to time. So if you do 2 horses in 1 race, 1 horse in the other 2, it's $2, because since it's a $1 bet, you're timesing each race. So you're going to do 2 times 1 times 1, and you'll do that for so on and so forth. So 2 horses in 2 of the races, 1 horse in 1, 2 times 2, $4. It's me a $4 ticket. If you can also, this is also with the double, with the daily double. You don't have to do the minimum $2 bet. That's just the one you obviously start out with, so that's what I'm going to talk about mostly. But you can make it a $3, $4, all the way up to whatever you have. And in that case, if you're whatever they show on the tote board is always the minimum bet. So the $2 double, if you win, the $2 double that they show on the board that's always going to be. They're not going to show the $4 double. That's something that you'll see when you get your money back if you bet more. So yeah, the more you bet, the more you'll make what you see on the board. If you bet a $4 double and they're going to show you the $2, yeah, you're going to make double what they showed you on the board. So just depends on how much confidence you have in yourself, really. So that's the triple. and then the pick four. So some tracks do the pick four differently. Some tracks do an early pick four and a late pick four. The pick four doesn't roll anywhere that I know of. At Del Mar, they just do the late pick four, which is probably my second favorite bet. They offer that at the minimum bet is 50 cents, which is awesome. It allows you to put a good amount of horses in even all four races and still not pay that much, which gives you a better opportunity. So pick four is pretty straightforward, just like the other ones. You pick the winner of 4 races in a row, and at Del Mar and most places it's the last 4. At Del Mar it's pretty cool. They add money. They put money into the pot for the pick 4 already, and then obviously all the money that we bet towards the pick 4 goes towards that too. So we already get a head start of usually like sometimes 500,000 if it's a weekend, which Sunday will be my day. It'll always be a pretty good number, so that's also why I like that bet a lot too. You can put as many horses in as you want in any race, and you multiply that this even differently than a pick 3, because there is a $1 pick 4, but how I do it is I just calculate it out like I'm doing a $1 pick 4, and then once I get to my final number, I just chop that in half, and that's how much I'm going to be paying for a 50-cent pick 4, and it's usually a nice surprise, really, because you're expecting a $1 bet and you get to cut that in half. So that's one of my favorites. We'll get into that. So now the pick 5. So the pick 5, different tracks do it differently too. Del Mar does just an early pick 5. So the first 5 races of the day, you got to be there by the first race in order to get this bet in. They also do a 50-cent minimum, and with that, that makes it nice, but it is one more race than 4, and that makes it that much harder to do. So, I like it, but just not quite as much as the pick 4. So with the pick 5, same thing. You pick the winner of the first 5 races of the day. Usually gets a pretty good payout, and they usually have a lot of carryovers like the pick 6 as well. And so you can get some money, but it's hard. It's 5 straight races, which makes it pretty hard. Like I said, 50-cent minimum. They also have a $1 pick 5, and you can go all the way up as much as you want to spend on it. Obviously, the more money you make if you win. So that's just the first 5 races of the day. And don't forget the races start at 2 o'clock every day but Friday, and 2 o'clock on Sundays, which is the day I'll be doing analysis and such. Anyway, so now let's talk about the pick 6, which I don't know that everybody plays this, but everybody probably knows about this. The pick 6 it starts around the 3rd, 4th, 5th race, depending on how many races are in the day. It's the last 6 races. So Del Mar has 8 races. They're going to start the pick 6 with race 3. Sundays is usually 9, so they're going to start the pick 6 with race 4 usually. So the pick 6 is a $2 bet, which, it makes sense why the pick 6 pays out probably more than any of these bets on a normal basis. But it is a $2 bet, which makes 6 races in a row, the last 6 races of the day, at multiplying by 2 instead of just by the line it's significantly harder and gets very costly. But can be very worth it, especially if you go in with a group of people. I know my dad has done that, and they've gotten the payout of 5 out of 6, which pays out pretty good payout. If you go in with a group of people, you don't have to spend as much, but you can still give your 2 cents in, and you guys can put a lot of thought into it. So, take your risk with that. And now one more bet that is definitely hard, but it's my favorite bet, partially because it was the bet that me and my grandma did all the time together, but also I hit one of these about 10 years ago at Del Mar on opening day. It's the $1 place pick all. And so, if you break down the words, it's pretty much what it is. It's a $1 bet, and you pick as many horses as you want in each race, and it's every race, pick all, and your horse come in first or second. So as many horses as you have, one of those horses has to come in first or second, which it definitely sounds easier than it is. But yeah, I love it for those reasons, and I hope I can hit another one day. So first or second in every single race that's on the card, whether that's 8 races, 9 races, 10 races, and as you can probably tell, if I'm going to be able to play one, I would like to play one on the weekday when it's 8 races. That's 1 or 2 less races that I have to deal with, and I find it easier. Although the one that I hit was a 9 race card, so I don't know. Who knows? But what I say is, with that one, don't play that one the same as you play like a pick 4 races in a row. Partially because that's all winning, and this is you can come in second, but also because, you know, if you find yourself sitting there picking every horse you love for that throughout, even if it's just 8 races, you're gonna spend a lot of money, even though it's a $1 bet. So just, you know, play that one pretty fun, even though you can make a lot of money with it. Play that one fun, I would say. We'll get into that. So with that, just a couple things that they offer in the summer as far as those bets. They, you know, on big days at the races, some of them will be Sundays, but a lot of them will be Saturdays, so I just want to throw it out there. They do pick 4s, like with big races that are at different tracks. So they'll do 2 races that are at Saratoga that are big name races, and then they'll do 2 big name races that we have here at Del Mar later in the day, and they'll put that together for a nationwide pick 4. And they do that type of stuff, which is fun. I like to do that. If I'm ever doing that and it happens on a Sunday, I will include that track, just those races that I'm including in, but because I don't know that I can do a whole card for that track, but I'm more familiar with the West Coast, but I will include those races, analysis of the races, and maybe we can do something with that. So one last thing I want to do is just go over the odds, because those are probably pretty confusing, and they change so much throughout a 30-minute period before the race. So the odds, so pretty straightforward, sort of. You get, the lower the number is the less money you're going to make, aka a bigger favorite. More people think he's going to win according to how they're betting, and the less money you can make, like I said. So the higher the number, you're going to make more money. Now, I don't know if the horse has a less chance to win the race, but that's what people think by the way they're betting. So you take that risk, but you have the the reward of making more than someone who bet the favorite. So a couple examples would be, say the favorite in the race is at 2-1, and you like him, but you like a horse at 10-1. You know, forgetting about the handicapping at this time, just talking about the odds. You know, you want more value at this time. You feel like this is a value race. You want to go with the 10-1. So you're obviously taking the longer shot. How you would think about it if it was worth it or not, like if you're going to get paid out enough, is like this. If you bet a 2-1 shot and you want to know how much it's going to pay to win, you take the odds, so 2-1, 2, and you times it by 2, you get 4. And then you add, and then what you'll see on the board as your payout will be about $2 or $3 more than that. So your payout will probably be around $6, maybe 6 and some change. Now you're looking at the horse that you would rather bet, better odds for you as a money guy. You go 10-1, so you times 10 by 2, 10, 2, 20. You're gonna get about 22, 23 maybe, depending on the other horses that came in second and third. You're gonna get about $22, $23 to win. The place and shows are harder to calculate because those depend a lot more on what horses come in second and third. That affects your place money and your show money. So I'll also explain that once we talk about which horses we're thinking about betting and the reasons why and not. But yeah, so if you're gonna, and then you're not just gonna see straight numbers like 2 or 2-1 or 10-1. You're gonna see 7-2, which is 3.5 to 1. Just think of 7-2 as an improper fraction, and then convert it, and that's how you get your odds. It's 3.5 to 1, but don't let that confuse you. It means the same thing. 5-2 is 2.5 to 1, and then you're gonna get lower. You're gonna get horses that are big favorites, and you're gonna know that because when you see 2-1, the number on the left is closer to the number on the right. and bigger. When you see horses that are getting where the number on the left is farther from the number on the right and smaller, like you see 1 to 5 or 1 to 9, one, you know that horse is one of the biggest favorites that you can be at the track, and you also know that you're going to make nothing on that. You have to bet $9 just to win one. So that's something to just look out for. So the higher the number, the more money you can make, but also you got to incorporate how much chance that horse has in the race and stuff like that. So we'll get into all of that, but I think today has been pretty successful. An introductory type video, just telling you what's going on. I have gotten so excited just doing this, so I'm gonna get out of here, get ready for tomorrow, and let's see if we can't make some money this summer and carry it into the winter and next summer. All right, guys, have a good one.